Jimmy G being back, man, Trey Lance getting hurt. It's the weirdest situation because the one big question mark for the Niners this year was the quarterback. And, like, they're in this funky situation where the window's wide open, but they've got a kid that they maybe think's the guy. They burn the ships for him. Then Jimmy G, not so fast. We signed him back. People don't like the signing. Yesterday's evidence of why the signing was, like great insurance. I mean, not just the fact that Trey Lance is developing and your window's open, so you're not going to have the patience you would if you're the Bears, right? Because the Bears have no other choice, and the Bears are like, we got to get Justin Fields up to speed. Like the Niners, their window's open, so it's good to have a guy like Jimmy G. If he's struggling, Trey's out for the season. Really tough week for him. Like I felt bad for him with the strip club thing, like cell phone cameras, man. And then on top of that, he comes out and gets hurt. And they were actually, they were going to cover. I mean, like, from a gambler's perspective, I told you this was the gambler's special. But Jimmy G comes in the game, and I can't help but notice walking around the sideline that I don't think anybody dislikes Trey Lance, but they knew they had their work cut out for him. And with Jimmy, they love Jimmy, dude. He's just they just love the guy, and he can run the offense. Sure, he's going to scare the shit out of you sometimes. But I feel way better about my Niners to the Super Bowl pick at 3 p.m. yesterday than I did at 1 p.m. Or 7 p.m. or whatever it was. It was in the late slate or the early slate? Late slate.
Collinsworth made a good point. Maybe you sign Jimmy for the other team that has an injured quarterback, and you make a deal and get something back, and it turns out to be your own team where you need the insurance. Yeah, man, those guys rallied around him. He completed a bunch of balls in a row to start, 8, 9. They look good. They look better. I'm with you.
Yeah, they're a good football team. Like they're a known commodity now. They went from an unknown commodity that's very talented to like this is a known commodity, and you guys are going to have to buckle up. And George Kittle's not even back yet, and they should be careful with him because it is a groin. And groins, as you saw yesterday with Humphrey. Or whoever has a groin. Like I had a groin a lot of times in my career. Like
I have a groin right now.
You got drive blocking in particular is tough on a groin.
Everything
so
like
George Kittle in-line blocking, which we know he loves, they know that Shanahan loves to utilize him in. That's gonna be tough for him to do.
But this is a big deal. Like it sucks that Trey Lance is hurt, but this team probably feels more confident today than it did yesterday, and that's just I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And Trey Lance. Jimmy G's been there. He's torn his ACL. He's rehab. Like he's going to be there for him. So in the long term, like Jimmy G might make more money because of this. Trey Lance might have more time. Like maybe this year was going to just be bad for him. And the Niners might be better off. So funky thing, but you could definitely pick it up seeing him kind of walking around the sideline. Like I know body language on the sideline, and guys were like, "It's good to have you back." Like it sucks what happened to Trey because everybody likes the kid by all accounts, but yeah.
And don't overlook how the locker room will receive him.
Exactly.
And you're not wrong mentioning more money for Jimmy G. His incentives are all probably now going to kick in because he had all kind of game incentives, $250,000 per game where he takes 25% of snaps, $100,000 per win, $500,000 with 50% snaps in a playoff game, and a couple more playoff game incentives. So
he's gonna make like $4 million and the $250 a game, 25% of the snaps, right? Like
wow, look at that, Chris. 16 times 250.
He's gonna do $4 million and then add the $500,000. So this $4.5 million plus wins. I mean, he's gonna win 10, 12 games.
He's gonna give 2.25.
He's gonna make like almost $5. He's gonna make $6 million like off of this injury, and not to mention he's gonna be up, right? Like he's not the quarterback of the future here, or maybe he is, but he's gonna he wasn't gonna get a chance to showcase that he can still play off that injury. He's got a chance to do that now, and who knows who he plays for next year.
Niners,
but I know
one penalty.
I know this year the Niners are going to be a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.